Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari, has reiterated that Nigeria can no longer afford the subsidy regime, revealing that the corporation cannot continue to be the sole importer of petroleum products. Addressing journalists after a crucial meeting with the All Progressives Congress National Working Committee at the party's national secretariat in Abuja, the GMD assured that the current hardship being experienced by Nigerians due to the removal of subsidy is going to vanish, adding that government was working towards putting in place mechanism aimed at addressing the pains of every citizen.
Making a flexible and single FX regime, everyone will be able to have access to foreign exchange. And there's a transition going on now, and NNPC cannot continue to be the sole importer. So we know that this is going to vanish. The market will stabilize it. Yes, there's an ongoing process of rehabilitation. One of them will come on stream this year, and the second one will come on stream next year, and then the third one will follow thereafter. Of course, it is very obvious that we can no longer afford it. Subsidy bills have piled up. The country is not able to settle NNPC for the money that we are spending on subsidy, and therefore pricing this petroleum at the market is the right thing to do at this point in time, and we believe that this will benefit overall the country in the long term.
Reacting to the NNPC GMD submission, the chairman, APC United States, Professor Taye Balofin, and his United Kingdom counterpart, Tunde Dohathi, urged Nigerians to be patient with the president.
To all Nigerians to be patient and to have an understanding of the situation. And I trust that the president will put a machinery in place to cushion the effect of the subsidy.
Subsidy has not helped us in any way. Rather, it has become a kind of infectious enjoyment to Nigerians, because the determinant of pricing is the marketers. Now there's no subsidy. Yes, it might be very difficult at this time, but I can tell you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in charge of everything.
Meanwhile, civil society organization under the aegis of the Free Nigeria movement has rejected the removal of fuel subsidy by the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the convener of the group, Dr. Moses Paul, kicked against the removal of subsidy without provision for palliative funds.
Continue to demand for good governance, responsible leadership, and insisting on a credible route to power. We frown at the unsavory pronouncement of subsidy removal by the new government. We call for the immediate reversal of this pronouncement.
The hikes left many workers unable to go to work as transport fares have doubled. The oil marketers, including the federal government-owned NNPC, began a new price regime on Wednesday following the pronouncement on the oil subsidy. The situation was the same across the country as commuters lamented.
I'm supposed to pay this like 8,000 naira, but how much did I spend now? 26,000 naira. It's really fair. At least the federal government would have said, okay, let us bring policies to alleviate the situation. Right now, as I'm speaking with you, I moved from Kuje to this place for 1,000 naira, and it was 300. It used to be 300 some hours ago.
A country that has a minimum wage of 30,000 naira, and you are now buying fuel for more than 30,000 naira for a full tank, it means the whole thing is not.
Life is becoming something else for the people. Means of transportation, amongst other things.
I don't think we can cope with the rate or the amount of, or the rate things are escalating at the moment.
Something that would have taken 100 naira, I'm going to pay about 400 naira now because of high cost.
The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has warned oil marketers against profiting from the current removal of subsidy. The agency noted that the removal of subsidy on petrol is a step towards building a more sustainable and prosperous future for the country.
NDPRA and FCCPC are going to be there to make sure that the consumer is not taken advantage of, so there's no profiteering. The players must play by the rules. There is no need to hold because NNPC has ample supplies and they have been selling. Obviously, because of lack of clarity, on Monday there were a lot of station owners and depot owners that were holding back. But again, in most places now, the serving people are buying in. And if you look at, especially somewhere around Abuja, Lagos, is just drive in, drive out. So for those in the hinterland, please let them just be rest assured that the market is open and there's ample petroleum products, especially premium motor spirit, to go around the whole country. I find it.
President Tinubu has met with Tajuddin Abbas and Ben Kalu, both contenders for the offices of the Speaker and Deputy Speaker position. The meeting came after the President earlier met with President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, also in the presidential villa in Abuja. President Tinubu's meeting with both sides is the first since he was sworn in as president. The president's meeting with Lawan and Gbajabiamila dwelt on the forthcoming inauguration of the 10th National Assembly scheduled for June 13 and the eventual election of the leadership and the principal officers of the federal legislature.
Necessary to work with all the major stakeholders, especially the leadership of our country, Mr. President particularly, to ensure that give the necessary opinion and advice on how the new leadership of the National Assembly should emerge and what we need to do to ensure stability. We are getting somewhere, we're able to resolve all the outstanding issues.
Tajuddin Abbas, however, said his meeting with the president was not linked with his ambition as the lower chamber of the National Assembly.
Our discussions to the matters of the day, issues that have to do with the challenges that this country is facing, particularly the economic and social challenges, and what he intends to do within the next few days, beginning with what he has done on the issue of fuel subsidy. Issues of other candidates did not form part of what we discussed with Mr. President.
The immediate past Senate leader, Senator Yahaya Abdullahi, has urged the executive to avoid imposing candidates on the 10th Senate and allow the institution to perform its duties as an independent institution. According to Yahaya, the most important thing is the way in which senators across party lines perceive what their interest is and the interest of the Senate itself. He noted that the opposition party are not going to begrudge the APC from taking over the leadership.
The thing really is for us to select a leadership that can unite the Senate. The Senate itself, the institution itself has to be united. Because if the institution is not united, whoever is public policy, is likely going to collapse. Because the Senate is the institution that partners with the executive arm of government most of the time. The House of Representatives also, of course, you can't make laws of the House, you can't pass budgets with other houses, but key presidential appointments in key institutions and key issues of policy, the Senate is very important. Now, if anybody toys with the Senate and allows, some schisms to happen between the Senate, the executive cannot perform optimally.
And the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has debunked reports of recruiting new members of staff. In a statement, JAMB's Public Relations Officer, Fabian Benjamin, advised the general public to disregard such information, noting that the agency is not recruiting in any of its offices, nor has it contracted anyone or organization to do so. JAMB also warned that it will take stiff legal actions against anyone found culpable of such nefarious acts. And that's the Citizen FM News at noon.